Hi everybody, it's Sarah Cray and I own Let's Make Art, and today we are painting a blue crab. I don't have a painting to show you because I wanted to walk you through how I approach a painting from looking at a photo reference to getting it on my paper, okay?
Sounds great.
We have Michael here working the cameras.
Hello.
We're married, so sometimes we call each other dear or, inside jokes, that kind of stuff. Okay, I will put what the supplies are in the description. I just can't tell them to you right now because I don't know yet. I do have a photo reference here of a blue crab, and this is from the, hold on.
Children's Museum of Indianapolis.
Children's Museum of Indianapolis. Thank you so much. And thank you, Children's Museum of Indianapolis, for putting this picture up that we can use as a reference. Okay. So I have a sheet of paper. This is just an 8x10, but you can use whatever sheet you have. I have my supplies handy, and I have a pencil so I can kind of sketch my drawing. Okay. I do want to say that what we'll do is I'm going to sketch it, and then we'll do our oath, and then we'll get into painting. Okay.
All right.
Now, if you guys are doing this at home, if you have a pad of paper, you can just paint inside of that pad. If you're not doing a full edge to edge, like taped off painting, which we're not here, we're just painting in the center. Usually that side that's glued down in your pad is enough structure to keep your paper from mostly not warping if you're just painting a single subject in the middle. Does that make sense?
Sounds great.
Okay. Okay. So I have my pencil here, and when it comes to sketching, there's two different ways that you can go about it. You can break your subject down into basic shapes and try and recreate them. You can also just, especially if you have an iPad, Michael, close your ears. You can just put your paper over your iPad and trace.
Don't push too hard.
Don't push too hard because you'll break the screen, but turn that brightness all the way up on your screen and it's like you have a light box right there.
Nice.
So, but I'm not going to do that because my husband is watching me. So we're going to sketch this out.
You can go for it. I won't watch. We have Apple Care on that thing. We'll just...
Yeah, we're going to take advantage of that Apple Care. Okay, so the first thing that I want to put is the body. Now, the body itself, if you look at it, it kind of looks like very puffy lips. Like this.
You've got to puff up your lips like this.
So you can try and do a lip shape, and look at me, literally have never painted this crab before or drawn it, so I have no idea how this is going to go. We're in this together. We got this. So I'm going to start by kind of working in the middle of my paper, and I'm going to do puffy lips. Okay. Now, I feel like the body itself could be a little bit poofier, so I'm just going to increase that curve up here at the top. And then I'm going to increase that curve down here at the bottom. Okay. And remember, this is just a drawing. It's just we're not going for photorealism here, so don't stress too hard, okay? Don't think of this as you have to draw a crab. Just think that you have to make basic marks on your paper so you can paint a crab, okay?
I have crab facts when you need some time filler.
Okay, perfect. When we get into painting, we can do that. And it looks like he has a little line here, and then it looks like he has little eyes here.
He does look like lips.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we got some legs. And then if there's also parts that you're like, I have no idea what's going on here, like this little thing, it looks like it's kind of coming out from the lips, and it's like the butt. Sometimes I just go, I'm not going to put that part in.
All right.
And then but we can put this in. So these are kind of like ovals that are kind of squared off. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm just doing I'm breaking this down.
You gotta scoot your iPad in a smidge more. There we go. Section
by section. So those kind of look like pebble shapes. They're not quite oval. They're not quite square. They're kind of in between. Okay. And you just try and match it a little bit, but these aren't perfectly matched. So don't stress if they don't match.
It's funny how I really do love crab meat. It's one of the best things on earth. Looking at a crab, though, you would never think let's eat that guy.
Yeah.
They're horrifying looking.
Yeah. Okay, and then when we do the legs, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the basic shape of the leg. So it's just like a line, like a curve here. This one kind of curves up, and this one curves up and has a little bit of a boop. And then same thing on this side, curves up, boop. And then the claws are thicker. It's coming out closer to the eye, kind of at the top of the lips. And those are closer to those like basic shape pebble legs. So we're gonna do that on both sides. And then the claw.
The claw. We got a lot of references in here. Is that a Toy Story and a Little Mermaid?
Yeah, yes.
Love
Okay.
it. Love it.
Now, and this is a great thing too, and this is why I want you guys to like not stress too hard about this, is like people are gonna see these little claws and people are gonna see these little legs and they're gonna not even really care about the shape of this. They're gonna be like, oh yes, a crab.
Yeah.
And you're like, fabulous, my work is done, you know? Now, when it comes to these lines, I'm going to just kind of thicken them. So just kind of add like another side. If you want to break it down into chunks, you can, because these have different sections. Or if you want to keep it just the same, you can do that too. Like, you are the artist here. And this is where being an artist is kind of fun, because we can take from references of what we see in real life and then say, I actually want to make this crab look like this instead, because I think that's cooler or whatever. And we have every right as artists to do that. We can make our own world.
No one gives a crab.
No one gives a crab. That's right. Okay. Now, you might be, the hard thing about working off of a photo reference is you might be stressed about the amount of details that you see here. And you're probably trying to figure out, what do I include? What do I not include? All of that kind of stuff. I didn't include any of the spikes so far. When I paint this, I might do a little bit of a serrated edge on the top here. You can add, how do I say this? Keep it as basic as possible. And then when you go to paint it, you can decide what to include or not to include. But you don't have to make all those decisions right now while you're painting. And simultaneously, when I'm looking for, like, starting at a reference photo and going into a painting, first I break it down into basic shape or composition. Then I break it down into values. And then I break it down into colors.
Okay. All right.
So looking at this now, for me, the body of the blue crab is pretty dark, but I see hints of strong color there. Like, look how gorgeous this turquoise is on the leg of the crab. Like, that's such a beautiful blue. Oh, and I actually want the body of the crab to reflect that kind of intensity blue as opposed to this really kind of gray muddy color, because I'm going for something a little bit brighter and happier. If you want to do photorealism, then you can focus on the colors and try and match those. I will take inspiration from the subject though. So I am going to do a vibrant blue on the body. And if you look at the edges of the lips, it's actually kind of red, which is super cool. And then on the bottom here near the butt, it's more green. And so when I go to paint this crab, even though I'm going to use higher, like more vibrant colors and not the exact same colors, I'm still going to pull inspiration from the color changes I see here and include that in my painting. Okay?
We're just going to build a better crab, if you will.
That's right. And I'm going to do the wet on wet technique for this. And so I'm not going to pay too much attention to values here because, again, I'm not going for something super three-dimensional. I'm just kind of going for a blue, fun, vibrant crab. Okay?
All right, let's do it.
So I have my, he's cute already, isn't he?
Yeah.
Tell me he's not cute.
He's nicely segmented. I will say that. Look at his legs.
Look at his legs.
Look at those segments.
Okay, so let us do our oath. So if you can raise your right hand and repeat after me. I promise to be kind to myself.
I promise to be kind to myself.
I promise not to compare my work.
I promise not to compare my work.
And I promise to have fun.
I promise to have fun.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to grab some colors that I think I'm going to use here. I'm going to grab some Azure Blue. I'm going to grab a little bit of emerald green because I saw some green at the edges there. And I'm going to grab a little bit of rose red for the edges. And we're just going to go for it, okay? I am going to erase the sketch lines on the inside of the body. Because because watercolor is transparent, once you put watercolor over pencil lines, you cannot erase the pencil lines. And I'm going to do wet on wet technique, and we're going to see where that takes us, okay?
All right.
So I'm going to take a round 12 because these are pretty big lips I'm filling in here. And I'm going to use just water. And then I'm going to take my blue. Oh, yeah. And then if I want to put in that kind of serrated edge, I can do that right now. And look at that, blue is just going to keep spreading as I'm putting in this edge. Okay. And then let's just pull some of this color down a little bit. I'm not picking up any new color. I'm spreading the color that's already there, but I'm not working the whole thing back and forth because I really love this kind of dark, rich blue edge and how it goes into a really light turquoise blue. And then I'm going to grab some red, and right on the tip here, and we can't control how far out that red goes, and I don't want to control it. I'm letting go when it comes to watercolor. I'm going to say, watercolor, you take the wheel. You know what I mean? And then I'm going to take some of this emerald. Let's see what color. I'm going to mix a little bit of blue in with that emerald. Can you guys see that?
Scooch that down for sure. There we go.
Okay, so here's the emerald color. I want it to be a little bit more blue-green. So I'm going to mix a tiny bit of azure in there. And then let's drop that just a little bit in there. Okay, so this feels pretty cool. I like what I'm doing so far. I do want it to be more blue. After I added these other colors of hints that I see here, I'm like, let's actually make sure that people can tell that this is a full blue crab and not a rainbow crab. So I'm just gonna grab more of the azure. Just kind of do a blue swoop.
This is beautiful.
Isn't it fun?
Yeah.
And drop it in. And then, because our edges are so dark now and our center is so light, I can say, come on, little fella, move some paint in there for me a little bit. Not a lot, because I like the different, like the lightness and the darkness, but just enough that it doesn't feel too separate. And you're going to get some hard edges. You're going to get some blooms. You know, it's hard because I think there's a lot of watercolor teachers out there that are like, this is how you avoid them. And I'm like, why would you want to avoid them? They're so cool.
Yeah.
You can, and there are ways and tricks that you can do that. But for me, I don't know. It does something to it that I really like. I'm going to do one more layer of this dark blue along the top here. But look at the colors that we have.
Yeah.
Like,
real beautiful.
so beautiful. Okay. And now I'm going to take my azure, and we can do that same thing section by section. Now for the legs, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll do the bottom first. I did have some blue paint on my brush when I put it down. I didn't mean to, but it's not the end of the world because I'm dropping color in anyway. And you can just repeat that per section, kind of paint it using water, and then go along the edges.
I got something to say. I don't know if it's appropriate for YouTube, but I'm doing it anyway.
Okay.
Snow crab is superior to king crab.
Oh, taste-wise?
Yes, we decided this the last time.
Yes.
Snow crab is the king of crabs.
Yeah, it's so good.
All right, that's all. Leave your
You know
hate.
what?
Leave your hate in the comments. I could take it.
And then when I touch the leg to the body, I let the paint that's already there run into that section. And some of that is kind of green bleeding in there, which is just beautiful. It's just like, thank you, watercolor, for doing all of this work for me. Now remember, the same way that like our legs are in different positions at times, like these crabs' legs do not have to be perfectly symmetrical. The legs, you know, they're going to be doing different things. That's okay. That's what bodies do.
You ready for crab facts yet or not yet?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
All right. All right. All right. All right. Think of your cell phone, Sarah.
Okay.
Think of how pretty much all cell phones look like your cell phone. All cell phones pretty much look the same now. You would say that's true. That's called convergent evolution. That means that like the shape of a cell phone is pretty much the best that it can be. That's the best at its job. We've come to the answer, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Crabs, the shape of a crab is the perfect shape for Earth because the crab shape has evolved at least 5 times in different lineages. Evolution has decided that the shape of a crab that's it. That's the best shape for the Earth, and multiple creatures have evolved to have a crab shape.
Really?
5 times. Convergent evolution has happened to crabs 5 times.
And when you say convergent evolution, what
Yes.
does that mean?
Okay, so like, let's say, think of an old ancestor of a mammal, okay, and it had 2 eyes and probably 4 legs. It probably kind of looked like a dog or something, and then it had divergent evolution, and it diverged into multiple creatures. So you got, things that look monkey-ish. You got things that look cat-ish and mouse-ish. It diverged.
Okay.
The opposite of that is convergent.
Okay.
It's when you have a bunch of things, a mouse and a cat and a dog and a human, and over time, because they all need something similar, their traits converge into one thing.
Okay.
So multiple creatures that did not look crabbish converge into crab shape because that shape has great defense. It is stout. It's low to the ground. It has attack weapons. A crab shape is awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is. I was just thinking it's
Multiple lineages have converged into crab shape. At least 5 that we know of.
that is so interesting, especially because it's not like they have a lot of dexterity.
You don't need it. Why would you need it?
I mean, I feel like we need it, but
Listen, a crab can hold a paintbrush.
yeah.
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 What else do you need? A crab can wear a chef hat. All the important things. Check.
This next segment of Let's Make Art is us buying a crab and just having it hold paintbrushes and wear hats.
I'm going to put a French mustache on him.
Okay, so I'm basically just pulling paint from the body and doing different sections. You can do it multiple ways. You can pull the paint and just keep on going. You can just wet the section using water and drop the paint in along the edges. Or if you like more of a flat wash, like an even wash, then you can just pick up the blue paint and paint the section evenly. There's no right or wrong answer, okay?
I have another great example of convergent evolution that will illustrate this purpose to you a little better.
Okay.
Eyeballs. Okay, so eyes on Earth have really only evolved, I think, twice. Okay, so you have everything that has eyes. Think of anything, literally. And then you have cephalopod eyes, like octopus and squid and sea creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Their eyes are not the same thing as a human eye. They don't work at all, but they're convergent structures because eyes are awesome.
Yeah.
They allow you to see. And so, like, even though cephalopods they weren't on the train to get eyeballs. They evolved their own. Convergent. They both got eyes. That's what crabs did. I'm sorry. I'm so excited.
First of all, don't be sorry, but isn't it the greatest thing in the world when someone starts talking about something and you can tell that they have this love for it because their eyes light up and they get excited? I wish you guys could see Michael's face right now because he's behind the camera and he's like, and they did this. And then it's so, when you see someone's love for something in their eyes when they're talking about it, it's the greatest thing in the world. That is so cool.
All right.
No, and I'm not making fun of you. I'm not.
Okay.
I love it. And that was just an insight to our marriage because Michael loves information and facts. And I'm just like, I can't keep up with your brain.
The important takeaway is crabs are delicious.
Okay.
That's probably why they evolved 5 times, because they're so tasty.
Probably. So now we're on to the pinchers. Now the pinchers on my reference photo have a red edge right here, kind of similar to the lip edge. So I'm using a round 6, but you can use whatever size you want. I'm going to use water to paint the section. I'm going to take some red and drop it right in the, ooh, and look at that go. Right in there. And then I'll rinse my brush and grab some blue.
That one looks like his murder claw.
Thanks. Great. But I kind of like it when the blue and the red meet just a little bit and you get a little hint of a purple. It's like,
Yep.
Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I actually might switch to a 2 just because I want that pincher to be pointy. So you can only get as, like not as small as maybe you want with the round 6.
I love his body color so much.
And this is why I love watercolor, because like we're literally wetting the area and dropping in the color and letting it move and do its thing. And it's going to create its own amazingness. And everyone's is going to look different. It's always this element of what's it going to do? What's it going to be? Okay, so same thing, wetting. And then I'm going to grab my 2 with some rose red. I don't know, I feel like there's like a hint of yellow, which I kind of like. So I'm grabbing some deep yellow and let's just see what it's like if we add just a little bit of yellow into here for fun. My claw got a little bit wonky, so I'm gonna reshape it.
Smallest crab ever is called a pea crab. They're less than 1/2 of an inch long.
Oh,
That's so tiny.
that's so tiny. Okay. This is our crab.
I love him.
We did it. Isn't it so cute?
Yes.
It took, maybe 15 minutes.
Yep.
And looking at this, the only thing I'm thinking is if I were to then critique my work, which by the way, this is fun, this is great, there's nothing wrong with this, but it's always a good idea to maybe stop and reflect after and say, okay, how did I approach this? And is there a better way? What changes would I make, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, I didn't paint the eyes, but before I do that, the only thing is I feel like the edge of my crab is a much darker value than the rest of everything else, right? This right here, when I'm looking at it overhead, is pulling me into only right there, where I want the other parts of the crab to be visually interesting too. So there's 2 ways that you can solve it. You can go and add little darker values kind of throughout the legs of the crab, mostly probably along the edges.
Nice. Wow, that does a lot actually.
Yeah. So just sometimes taking a piece that's only in one spot and putting it in other places. This is true for color. This is true for value. All of that kind of stuff will balance the composition. And then the other thing that you can do if you're feeling you don't love how dark it is you can go back and lift some color out. So I'm going to put just clean water on the area that I want to lift, let it sit for a second, and then I'm going to take a clean brush and lift out. And depending on your paper and the paints that you're using will depend on will inform how easy it is to lift that color out, okay? So if you know that you have paints that don't lift up very easy, then you're that's not a viable option for me, then maybe you want to try something else. I was able to lift up some of the colors. See how this side is now lighter than this side? So you can do one, the other, both. I kind of like the little dark value on the legs. So I'm just going to introduce that on the bigger parts a little bit.
It's also important to think about with this, subject in particular. Are you going with a lemon butter Or are you going with like a straight butter?
Oh my
What kind
God.
of sides are we having with this guy?
Okay, well, I'm going to put my 2 cents in, and I just need butter.
Yeah, straight butter with some crab.
I just need butter. I don't need all of the seasonings. I just need, give me some delicious fresh crab and give me some melted butter, and that's really all I'm asking for.
I want a spicy side though.
I'm just a girl standing in front of a YouTube channel saying she just wants butter with her crab.
Yeah.
That's
well,
it.
That's all you need.
Okay. Now that I put little dark values in the other places, like cute.
Cute.
And then for the eyes, I mean, they're just tiny little eyes. You don't have to include them if you don't want to. And if you don't have black, if you have red, yellow, and blue, you can just mix all those babies together.
Can you bring that down a smidge? Yeah. There we go.
So I have blue, I have red, and I have yellow, and I mix that all together, and look how dark that value is. Or you can just use black paint. You can also just use a black pen.
Nice.
And you want to make sure that your crab is dry so the black paint doesn't get into the wash. Then you just add little black eyes.
It'd be fun to paint one of those glasses mustache disguises on. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Okay, can I pause you?
Yes.
Can we look at this claw right here?
Yes.
Can you see that?
Beautiful.
The blue bled up into, so we have like this red turquoisey color here. It's stunning. This is why watercolor is amazing, because like I didn't even mean to do that. And look at what happened. And this one where I touched in a little bit of yellow, it kind of went right here. Do you see that? Mm-hmm. I think I like this one a bit more, but this one is beautiful too. You know what I mean? Like
we don't discriminate.
We don't discriminate. We love it all.
With butter.
With butter. As long as there's butter. And, I got a little blue dot.
All right.
Okay, let me talk through this, and then we can be done.
All right.
You get a little blue dot. A couple things you can do. Immediately try and get clean water and a paper towel and wipe it off. You can also use a magic eraser if you're super gentle. Should I try it?
Yes.
Because I just have one?
Yes.
Or if you don't have that, splatter blue dots all over your painting. Add more so then it looks like it was on purpose.
Or throw it away.
Or throw it in the trash. I do all of those things all the time. Okay, magic eraser, I cut off a tiny little section. You want to make sure it's clean. You want to dip it in clean water. You want to squeeze out the excess water. And you're going to gently rub.
Why gently, Sarah? You said that multiple times.
If you rub too hard, you're going to tear the paper. This is an abrasive.
It's like sandpaper.
It's like sandpaper, a very, very, very fine sandpaper. So if you rub too hard, you're going to rub a hole in your painting. And it's gone.
Lovely.
It is the easiest way to get rid of accidental marks.
All
There.
right. It's beautiful.
Okay, that is our blue crab. I hope you, seeing this, it gave you guys some good information on how you can take a reference photo and create your own paintings. I hope you can see how wonderful watercolor is and how fun it is just to experiment. You know, you have 20 minutes in your day, grab a random object and let's freaking paint it in your journal. Like creativity doesn't have to be this full hours long frame worthy. It can be playful and fun and simple. And it's for joy and it's for experimentation and it's for the fun of it. So I hope you give yourselves permission to do that. I hope you had fun with this and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.